Hi, we're AM Knights, and this is Uprooting Orlando. I'm joined by Alex, Muta, Alicia, and myself, Ali, and let's get started. For our table of contents, we're going to go over the project overview, our work breakdown structure, we're going to talk about our network diagram, our overall project schedule, resource chart, we're going to talk about our budget, and our supporting plans. To start off with the project overview, we are renovating a foreclosed single-family home in Orlando, Florida. We chose to renovate this home to hopefully improve property value, enhance neighborhood appeal, hopefully support the local housing stability, and this project addresses both economic and aesthetic concerns in a market with elevated foreclosure rates. For our work breakdown structure, we're going to talk about property renovation. So our property renovation goes into having the kitchen remodeled, our bathroom renovation, exterior and curb appeal, interior touch-ups, and final steps. Then these go into purchasing appliances, cabinets, countertops, and then also installing them, updating lighting fixtures, renovating the bathroom, new landscaping, and painting rooms, and then finally having an inspection, staging our home, and taking photos, and finally putting it on the market. Thank you. I'm going to pass it on to Alicia.
Thank you, Ali. So for our network diagram, it's going to be translating our work breakdown structure into a visual chart where it's going to show us the tasks that we need to complete, but also a logical sequence, so that way we know how to keep track of our project and to also make sure that we complete it within a feasible time of 1 month. That will give us additional time to get the property sold and also avoid any seasonal slowdowns or marketing opportunities. Most of our tasks are estimated to be between 1 to 2 days. We would be beginning the project on June 2nd and ending on June 23rd. And if we fall behind, that would lead us into risk of incurring higher costs. So we want to make sure that we meet within that margin because it will change our selling price. And then for our critical path, it's going to be our longest sequence interdependent on each other. So let's say, for example, if we install countertops and cabinets, we need to make sure that they're removed and the materials are delivered. So our critical path is going to be the one that's highlighted in yellow on the diagram. And thank you. I'm going to pass it on to Muta.
Thank you, Alicia. For our project schedule, this was developed directly from the network logic and reflects all task dependencies and durations. We use logical sequencing to ensure efficient flow. For example, granite countertop installation only starts after cabinets are installed. We also took advantage of parallel tasks where possible. For instance, landscaping 3.1 happened while interior touch-ups 4.0 were being completed. We schedule work sequentially unless there was clear opportunity to overlap without conflict. This gave us practical and achievable timeline that aligns with our overall WBS. Our resource chart assigns specific team roles to project tasks across the schedule. We carefully avoided over-allocation. For instance, the same crew wasn't scheduled to handle both bathroom tiling and kitchen upgrades at the same time. We also allowed for simultaneous works on tasks that didn't conflict, such as exterior upgrades occurring while interior work was wrapping up. Thank you, and now I'll pass it off to Alex.
Thank you, Muta. So as far as our budget is concerned, we have 4 weeks to complete this project, and after those 4 weeks we are estimating a cost of $26,750 for all project tasks. Basically, this structure is broken down into 4 weeks, and within those 4 weeks we have a total and a cumulative. So after each week we can see the total and then the cumulative amount of the project, how much the project will cost for each week. As far as our risk management plan goes, we have our risk descriptions on the left, and the likelihood that these risks might happen. We also have the impact that if these risks do happen, how high that impact would be. And then we have our mitigation strategy, which tells us what we can do to avoid these risks from happening. We also have owners for each risk that show what needs to who's in charge of whether that risk, if that who's in charge of mitigating that risk. As far as our projected renovation outcomes, we have photos here of what the house will look like after our renovation is complete. So we have new cabinets, new refrigerators, and it just looks much better than it did before if we were to go with this renovation, and hopefully we will turn a profit if we go through with it. Lastly, we have our milestone, which shows that if we get rid of the tree in the backyard, the house will look much better. And this is a 2-day project, and we're hoping to complete it in order to turn a profit on the house, because the backyard will look much cleaner and much better. Thank you, and if you have any questions about us moving forward with this project, please let us know.